Leader, I am proposing an amendment to the order of business that item 7215 be taken today, and that Shannon Darrgh recommends that should the government proceed with the sale of 25.1% stake in Aer Lingus, that the monies received be used to reduce the savage cuts imposed on the Aer Lingus pension scheme members. We had a good debate on that today, and Senator Bacic actually at the time indicated her support for this type of mechanism. At the very least, if the government have now decided by vote in Dáil Éireann that the stake in Aer Lingus is going to be sold, all the arguments that many of us made contrary to that are on the record of the House in relation to that. I'm not going to go over them. Unfortunately, you've made the decision against our wishes, but that is as it is. What I'm saying now is that the 340 million or so that you're selling the strategic state interest for should be used to offset the savage cuts that this government have brought in on the pension scheme members in the airport. At the end of the day, this sale and the government's money that you'll be receiving would not have been able to go through without the cuts that you brought to the pension scheme. The 15,000 members, the deferred pensioners that were cut by up to 60%, long service members whose pension benefits were torn asunder, and the retired members, people in their 70s, 80s and 90s who have lost 6 weeks' pay, the 5,000 existing members who have been moved out unilaterally out of a good pension scheme and thrown into an inferior scheme. So if the government is going to get 340 million, instead of using it in your connectivity fund, whatever the hell that is, or instead of actually putting it into a fund to use for your own preferment prior to the general election, add it to your slush fund, give it back to the people that you took it off. Give it back to the deferred pensioners. Give it back to the retired pensioners. Give it back to the members of the IASS scheme. And give that commitment here. So I would like that debate, and I would like the Shannon to support the motion that I tabled the week before the recess, that Shannon Darrgh recommends that should the government proceed with the sale of the 25.1% stake in Aer Lingus, the monies received be used to reduce the savage cuts imposed on the Aer Lingus IAS pension scheme members. I think that's fair. I think it will go some way towards rectifying a most grossly unfair situation that prevails to the first pension scheme in the history of the state that any government brought in legislation to reduce members' entitlements. So I'd ask you to accept that motion here today. Thank you.